This is everything you need to know about the filler panel tail lights for the 23 and up Harley-Davidson touring models. Right off the bat, or I guess when you're looking at the product to purchase, you'll have choices between either a red or a smoke lens. And then also you will have the option to choose your finish, which would be either black or chrome. So kind of however you want to have your lighting styled will kind of be up to you, just on the physical attributes of the product. But right now I'm going to take you into sort of all the different features when paired with Lightstrike, and how that module and this light work together to create really cool lighting. So when you open up the app here, this will be the first screen that you'll see, and you'll click Lightstrike COMMANDER, and then you'll see all the different lights on the bike. The filler panels are this very first one right here, and you'll be able to rename that, and we'll have a different picture there, but right now that's just how it's being previewed. So you just click filler panels, and when you first open up the app here, you're going to see your battery voltage, which is the voltage of the bike. The very first customizable option you'll have here is your power on animations. You can have it as none. And then also you could change that to either be red or amber. I'm going to switch it to amber just so you can kind of see when the animation ends and the normal brake function, the run function, begins to take effect again. So this is the first animation for the filler panels. Second animation. We have about 9 animations here. This is the fourth. This is the fifth. And like I said, this is every time. So when your vehicle is completely powered down, and then when you turn it on, this is what's going to play, and then your running lights will come on. Here's number 6. Number 7. And all of these different animations and any parts of this app are subject to change. Usually make the app better, or if we potentially find an issue with one of the functions, but that's usually not the case. But if anything, we would most likely add to this. But this is, at the time of the video, this is the different animations that you will have available. So here's number 7. Number 8. And then 9. So again, like I said, you can switch this between red or amber. I just previewed in amber so you can kind of see when the animation starts and stops. But those are your different power on animations. The next thing down is going to be your run brightness. So if you slide this down, it's going to manipulate that color to be whatever you'd like it to be. So if you have OEM lighting that you're trying to match, this is really great. So then our light will match the existing lights that are there, or if you just like it a little cooler, a little very, very bright, you have that capability. Run animation is not something you would normally use on the road. It's more of like a parade or a show type scenario, or like if you're on a closed course or something like that. Right now it's set to random, and then you can select different ones that it'll just keep looping through, just individual animations here. And then below you'll find all the different parameters for the run animation. So So your animation delay is what allows you to set the delay before a selected run animation begins playing. Your animation interval is the time gap between the start of each individual animation sequence when in run animation mode. Your animation speed lets you control the pace at which the run animations play out. And then the animation brightness is, of course, just how bright you want that animation to play. So if you wanted it to be a little less or a little bit more, so turn up the brightness a little. So, and then we can go through some of the animation modes here quick. So this is, we were on number 1 before, we're on number 2 now. Here's number 3. So this is just going to keep playing the entire time you have run animation set. Here's 4. This is 5. Here's 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. Some of these might be a little difficult to see. So there we go. If you turn the run brightness down, you can kind of see a couple of these better. So that's 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 'So that's kind of a breakdown of the run animation. All right, so the next feature on the app here is the run breathe. When you turn that on, you're going to have a minimum brightness and a maximum brightness. So as you can see, it's bouncing between the minimum and the maximum brightness. The frequency was set at 1, so now that frequency is set to 10, so it's a lot faster. So that will manipulate the breathe. Pretty straightforward with that setting. Now we're into kind of your turn modes, and your turn modes, to preview them when you are first setting them up, you have to have a turn signal active. So now that a turn signal's on, we'll be able to manipulate this. So this is turn signal 1, so this is your very basic turn signal. And right now it's set to amber, but you can put it to red. But for this video's sake, just so you can kind of see what the turn signal is doing, I have it set to amber. So you also have a strobe, which would add that or remove that to any of the different turn modes. And then the turn mode brightness can be selected as well. So again, to potentially match OEM lighting or any other lighting that you might have. So that's one. Here's the second animation. And actually, I'm going to turn the strobe off because it kind of messes up the turn mode a little bit. So I'll just give you everything without the strobe effect. So this is number 2. Here's turn mode number 3. Here's turn mode number 4. Here's turn mode 5. Here's turn mode 6. There's 7. There's 8. So 8's kind of a split. There's 9. There's 10. 11. And 12. 13, 14, here's 15, and 16 is the final one that we have at this moment in time. So yeah, as you can see, there's, I mean, anywhere from 16 different selections. Technically, you would double that if you turned on the strobe effect if you wanted to have. So, I mean, a lot of different options that you could have for customizing this filler panel light. I'll show you the brake animation. So this will affect the different animations that those filler panels will have. And you can manipulate the cooldown time, the frequency, and then also the number of flashes. So right now it's set to 3. I'll go to 5, so it'll flash 5 times. Or if I go down to 1, it's going to flash once. Cooldown time is how long it takes between when the initial flash happens and when you can pull in the brake again. So if I pull that brake anytime before 7 seconds, it's not going to do that brake animation. But as soon as after 7 seconds, or let's go a little bit less, so down to 0 seconds, every time that I pull that brake in, it's going to play that animation. So frequency is how fast that the brake animation plays. So right now it's set to 0. It's fairly slow. If I go up to 10, it's really kind of just a flutter almost. I'll go a little less and a little less there. So again, just kind of fine tuning kind of how you want the brake to perform here. So I'm going to set it to number of flashes. That was all on number 1. We'll go to number 2. So you can kind of see that. Number 3. Here's number 4. And then number 5. Next on the list here, so next on the app here is your brake burst mode. And if you turn that on, what brake burst mode allows you to do is to select from various different patterns for how the brake light will burst or flash. So we'll set it back to number 1 here. And then you have your delay, which will enable you to set the time after applying the brakes before the brake burst takes effect. And then the last one is the brake burst frequency, which it allows you to adjust the time interval between each group of flashes in a brake burst sequence. So now I'll show you the burst here. So this is number 1. And then if you adjust the frequency, you can kind of see that changes from being like a steady flash to kind of just a slower flash here. Here's number 2. So number 2 is kind of top and bottom. And then number 3. And then if you change that burst delay, it's just the amount of time to which when you pull in that brake lever, how quickly that animation is going to play. To finish off the app here, we have product name. This is where you can kind of put in a custom name for that light, where you can put filler panels. You get your firmware version, firmware information, and then return to factory settings. And return to factory settings is just if you get the light out of whack or you just want to start with a clean slate, you would just click that and it would go back to how it was when you took it out of the box. So any questions, or even if you have these lights and you need some tech help, feel free to give us a call. We have US-based tech support and sales, so when you call us, you're going to get a real human. And yeah, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.